Yo, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Blank back here on Resident Evil 4 Part 18 today here in series of this playthrough. Today's like goal here, ladies and gentlemen, is 20 likes. Let's see if we could smash that like goal here for this video. And I just want to quickly say I greatly appreciate it, you guys supporting here on the series and checking it out. Whether you're a returning viewer and or a newer viewer here to the series, I would highly recommend you clicking that subscribe button and or that like button. Lets me know you're enjoying this series. And with that out of the way, I just want to quickly be transparent with you guys. 40 minutes after this cutscene, I got to a point called the Wrecking Ball Room with a little lava pit. And it was an absolute nightmare, and I decided to load back the save before the Salazar boss fight. And I decided to kill him the cheap and easy way with the rocket launcher due to that fact, because Ashley was being an absolute pain in the neck like you would not believe. She has no type of self-preservation whatsoever, and she was just an absolute nightmare to deal with in that room. And she got me killed like so many times. So on top of that, I was also dealing with a serious lack of ammo. And I was constantly having to knife basically like almost every other enemy just to get the smallest hint of ammo. And I did not imagine you guys would enjoy me constantly having to knife just about every other enemy to just get 5 bullets for my handgun and rinse and repeat that process. So to save some ammo and hopefully get me off the struggle bus, I decided to kill Salazar, hopefully conserve some ammo and help us later on. So that's out of the way. Secondly, I made a cut here in the video somewhere towards like I think 6 maybe 7 minutes. Only reason why I did that was because these guys kept on transforming into plagas, and that was really annoying and obnoxious, and I got to a point where I ran out of handgun ammo and I didn't want to waste my TMP, so I decided to kill them with some knives and some TMP. So just want to let you know that, guys, and with that out of the way, let's get into today's topic here for this video, and that is some of the ways they can improve Resident Evil 5 if they decide to choose to remake it here in the future. Personally, RE5 is one of my second favorite Resident Evil games, and one of my first things I would improve is I would want the weapon system to not be just you buying it in the store. I kind of want it to be how it used to be in RE2, where you would go around the map and you'd find little bits and pieces to upgrade your gun and combine it instead of just it being straight from the store. I don't know if that's just me, but let me know down in the comment section below whether you guys enjoy kind of like roaming around the map and finding upgradable parts for your weapons, or if you just enjoy going to the merchant and just buying it. Personally, I don't mind like going straight to the store and just buying all the upgrades that you can for your weapon, but I enjoy it more when there's kind of a combination of both. Now, one of the second things I think they could greatly improve upon for the RE5 remake is the characters and or the boss fights, either scrapping them completely or redesigning and replacing them with something else, which is what I would preferably like. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the characters. The first one being is Sheva Alomar. Now, like I said before in my previous video, I don't have a problem with Sheva. I don't mind her as Chris's partner, but I think they could greatly flesh out her character way more compared to what they did. I don't know if they explain this in the notes that they leave around in the game for her character. If they do, sort of just skip over this and ignore this part. But as far as I know, she's just some random woman who had her parents killed by some BOWs. And I'm assuming for whatever reason, she wants to eliminate all BOWs on the battlefield in hopes that no one else has to suffer the same way she did by having her parents taken out that way. I would like to know her reason for why she felt it was better for her to be on a battlefield combating BOWs and eliminating them that way compared to, I don't know, like lying low and being a scientist and coming up with a cure or a vaccine and getting rid of BOWs that way. I would like to know her reason for that. So, my second character I would like to, redesign or rework or scrap is Irving. I have a big problem with Irving. Like, he's not really that memorable, and I kind of just, gloss over him. Like, there's not a whole lot to him in the original. Like, I can more or less explain his character in a few seconds. Like, he just comes on screen to exposit some exposition that he doesn't necessarily need to give in the first place. Then he runs off with Jill up until we get to the boat, where we have a boss fight with him, kill him, and then as he's dying there, he exposits some more exposition that he doesn't even need to really give to Chris and Sheva and letting them know where to go. So I think they greatly improve upon his character in many facets, or just remove him altogether and replace him with someone else. Honestly, it doesn't matter either or in terms of the avenue we decide to go down with that. But now moving on to my third and final character I would like to talk about and have them more fleshed out and or reworked, and that is Excella. Now for Excella, in terms of character, I would like to know why she took over Trizo and why she felt Wesker was a suitable partner for what her goal was, even if it did more or less line up with Wesker's goal in terms of taking over the world and or destroying it. For me, I just can't understand why she would choose Wesker of all people, sort of given his track record and or his sort of record of betraying people, leaving them for dead, or transforming them into BOWs, like in her case. So now moving on to the boss fights that I would like to see scrapped or reworked for the RE5. First one being is the last Ouroboros boss fight, or the second one, whatever you want to call it, in 5-2. Now, my problem with the 5-2 Ouroboros boss fight is it feels like it's kind of lazy and really annoying, and one of the reasons I believe this is one of the more obnoxious boss fights in the game is the fact that it feels like this boss is just more or less placed here to sit out here and pad out the runtime of the game, alongside the fact that it's just here to zap your resources and waste your ammo. And if you're fortunate enough to have not been that conservative with your ammo, or have just been spending on whatever enemies up until that point, like, you could be in some pretty hot water depending on what your main weapon is or how frequently you use your shotgun or magnum. And if you haven't figured out the gimmick for the Ouroboros virus and or the boss fight, is that the boss fight in this one, the game hands you a flamethrower and some flammable tanks that you have to knock down, and then the Ouroboros monster will grab them, and then you have to shoot the flammable tank and it'll explode, and the monster will eventually at some point or another expose 3 tentacles which you have to exclusively destroy with your guns. I don't believe it's possible to destroy the weak points with the flamethrower. I haven't ever done so. So now every time I just enter that boss fight, I just instinctively just buy a rocket launcher just so I could not waste 20 minutes just pumping this thing full of ammo. So now moving on to the second boss fight I would like to refer to, and I don't necessarily have a problem with the boss himself, I just have more or less a problem with one of its attacks. And this boss fight that I have a problem with is the El Gigante boss fight. You only have one in the entire game, but it could be pretty obnoxious, especially if you're doing this in professional. And let me tell you, this thing has only 1 or 2 attacks, but the second one is the main one you have to watch out for. So the first attack is you have to dodge a light pole that it will grab out of the ground, swing toward you, and you have to hit a button to dodge and duck. After you have managed to dodge and duck, or have shot and stunned the El Gigante before it knocks your head off the light pole, it will then get stunned for a few seconds, and then immediately afterwards, if it doesn't kneel down to one knee and show the Plaga, which you have to destroy, it will then grab a boulder out of the ground and throw it toward you. And as the boulder's sort of coming toward you, you have to shoot it with the minigun, which you also then all have to make sure that the minigun doesn't overheat. And this is the specific attack I have a problem with, and I want more or less removed or reworked greatly, because, you know, I've died to this specific one attack numerous times. You could be sitting there preemptively shooting this boulder for like a solid minute and it will still hit you. So it just feels like it's a really cheap way for this boss to get killed on you if you're doing this on professional. I haven't ever died to this boss fight on like something like normal or expert. I can't remember what the other difficulty is below professional, but this one attack has killed me numerous times, and I hope they remove it or just rework it entirely, because it feels so unfair that the game just kind of feels like, oh, this time you'll throw the boulder even though you've been shooting at it for a solid minute. Other times, now it gets a free hit on you. So now I just want to talk about one of the things I hope they decide to add into RE5, which is the stealth mechanic in RE4. Now obviously, as in the making of this video, I haven't gotten to see the how the stealth mechanic works for RE4, and we don't have any previous iterations of Resident Evil to look at that have really any stealth mechanics whatsoever. So I just hope that these stealth mechanics are good enough to where it isn't like GTA 5, where you have two dudes in a room, or in this case villagers or nanos, whatever you want to call them, where one's just sort of sitting in the rooms, you know, guarding one direction, other dude's making its rounds, and then eventually he'll come out of the room and then come back in, and where like you kill the one ganado, the other dude comes back in the room, and then just the whole compound's alerted. I always hate that. Or a alternative sort of scenario is where you kill the one, and then the other guy comes in, but he's swinging his hatchet, or he just says a voice line, and then just the whole compound is on you like wet on rice. So I hope they don't go down that route. I hope the stealth system is a bit better than that, because I always hate when you sit there, you kill the enemy before it attacks you or says anything, but you know, it's still too late. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, like I said before, I would greatly appreciate it if you would hit that like button. Remember, 20 likes is the goal for this video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Click on that bell icon and the gear next to it. Instead of personalized, you will click on all, so you are notified for all the videos that get uploaded here on this channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Peace.